good, y'all? It's your boy JusB, and welcome back to the JusB show. Man, let me read y'all something real quick so y'all can understand the importance of this particular interview. It says, "There's been some days when the pain and discomfort are so damn bad that I had to ask myself, is the fight even worth it anymore?" That was said by this young lady right here. Let me introduce y'all to Day Green. What's up, Day? How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
You nervous?
A little bit, but I'll be alright.
All right, that's good. That's all that matters, man. Yo, make sure y'all start a watch party for this episode, yo. We're asking for donations to the Crohn's Disease Foundation. It's to help find the cure, y'all, because ain't no cure for this thing. So please start a watch party, like, share, and please engage, and we would definitely appreciate it. So, Day, let's start off by you telling us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm 33, originally from New Orleans, but basically raised in Las Vegas. I got two little boys, so that's really about it. Nothing too special besides dealing with Crohn's, but it's all good.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Hold on, let me. All right, I mean, okay, so dealing with Crohn's, and I'm sure that's an unfortunate situation in itself. But what
hmm
exactly is Crohn's disease?
Crohn's is an autoimmune deficiency disorder. Basically, to sum it up, is your body doesn't digest your food properly. So some days it'll digest what you have, everything will be normal, and some days it won't, and it just sits on top of your stomach.
Ooh, I couldn't even imagine that because
Yeah.
I like using the bathroom. So yeah, I definitely couldn't imagine that. Now, how old were you when you first got diagnosed with Crohn's disease?
um, I was well when they originally gave me the diagnosis. I was about 20 years old, but I
Hmm.
first started getting sick about 18, 18, about 18, 19 years old. But they couldn't figure out what it was.
Wait a minute. So it took them 2 years to figure out what was wrong.
Yep, it took them 2 years to figure out what was wrong. It took um, about 18 different procedures, five,
Ooh,
six surgeries. Yeah, it took a lot. It took a lot, but it took 2 years, and it was a colonoscopy that figured it out.
ooh, hold on. Ooh, I know what that's about. Mm-mm. Nope. Ain't got time. Ain't got time. Girl, you strong. You strong. You know
Yeah.
what? I couldn't even imagine having to go through something like that. But one thing I did want to ask you was like, is there a difference between like having Crohn's disease in male and female, or is it pretty much the same for the most part?
That's what I'm not too sure of. I only really know one guy that has Crohn's disease, but his isn't that bad. And I don't even think he takes medication for. No, I lied. He does. He takes Humira for it.
Mm-hmm.
But with taking Humira for Crohn's, that means that it's just mild. So he pretty much does what he wants on it.
Mm. I don't even like taking medicine, girl. Jesus, boy, much props to you. Much props to you, man. To the audience, yo, if y'all are watching now, and again, I would love for you to start a watch party and please engage. Post comments. I'll bring them up on the live so that everyone will be able to see your comments or whatnot. And answer this question for me: if you have Crohn's or if you know anybody that has Crohn's, please let me know in the comments. I'll definitely appreciate that. Um, I remember on a separate conversation that me and you had, Day, and you mentioned to me that you were the test subject for a lot of the new meds and the procedures. Like, tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, so I had the worst case in the state of Nevada back in was 2000, late 2005, early 2006. It was really new to Las Vegas, Nevada. It was really really new, so they didn't really know how to treat it, what to do with it. Um, and like I said, it took them 2 years. So it's like the first year and a half, they just kept me on strong antibiotics, which worked for a while. But once they took me off, it was back downhill all over again. So I don't know. It wasn't fun though. It's not fun to be, you know what I mean? I feel how lab rats feel, basically, at the end of the day. To be poked and stuck, and, it's 7 people in there looking at you, looking at your body, your private areas, this, is that, and the third. So it ain't fun and it ain't easy. But if it helps other people, then, you know, it's all good.
Yeah, hey, first of all, let me give you much props for even being brave enough to come on the Just Be show to talk about something that I can only imagine that you internalize, your emotions and things about. A much respect to you, sister, and
Thank you.
praise. Pray,
Thank you.
because I wouldn't do it. I'd be like, I'm not gonna go in there and tell y'all that I can't, you know what I mean? Like, no, it ain't, it ain't happening. It definitely ain't happening. Let me ask you, like, what are some of the symptoms that you deal with on a daily basis?
Some of the symptoms that I deal with on a daily basis is stomach pain, like stomach cramps, um, pain in my legs, my bodies, because Crohn's can attack. It doesn't just attack your immune system; it can attack your bones, kind of like people with lupus or sickle cell.
Hmm.
So you can have joint pain, pain pretty much anywhere, but the main pain is in your stomach.
So it feel like a cramp?
It feel like a cramp times 20. It's not just like a regular cramp. It's one of those cramps that break you down to your knees.
Ooh, like you
Yeah,
going what they like when y'all having a baby, like going through contractions?
yeah. But it's not
Ooh.
that low because the contractions is a little bit lower. It's in the, in the top, closer to like your chest.
Hmm.
'Cause, your stomach sits closer to your chest, not really to the bottom part of your body. Yeah, your stomach is up here.
For real? Why I ain't know that? I can't have
Yeah,
no podcast and don't even know that. That's weird. Yeah, I didn't even know that.
yeah.
That's
Near your
crazy.
near your belly button is your intestines.
Oh.
Your large intestines. Then your small intestines goes a little bit lower. So when you go to the doctor and they ask you, do your stomach hurt? They normally tap you up here
Hmm.
because that's where your stomach is. Your stomach sits up here, not way down here, where people think that it is, and it's not.
When my stomach hurt, that mean I be grabbing my intestines. That be my intestines be hurting.
That means you got a boo boo.
Oh. I'm dead. I'm dead. Oh, that's too funny. So, what are some of the things that you have to focus on, like day in and day out, to make sure that you can control what you would call it as like your flare ups?
The two biggest things is stress and what you eat. Those are the two biggest things that you have to control on a day-to-day basis to not have a flare up.
Hmm.
If you can control those, you 90% probably can have a better life. But some when I was younger, I didn't want to deal with it, so I didn't really care what I ate, what I did. So I did what I wanted, which landed me in the hospital majority of my adolescent years. So,
Hmm.
but I learned. So
That's what's up. That's what's up. But don't be doing that no more.
I'm good. I'm
Don't be
good.
doing that no more. We need you to be out here so you can spread this awareness to these people out here. Cause not everybody brave enough to come jump on a podcast, let alone a video podcast to
Woo!
to
Tell me
spread
about
the
it.
word. I see you nervous, but you doing it though. I'm proud of you for that.
No problem. I
I
got
mean
you.
that. I mean that 100%. So speaking about diets and foods and things that you can eat, like to maintain, so that you don't have these certain kind of flare ups, like what are some things that you can and cannot eat?
It's different for everybody with Crohn's. Everybody, there's certain things that I can have that the next person with Crohn's can have, or sometimes maybe we both can. But
Hmm.
the diet that they tell you to follow, things that are high fiber foods, things that make you go to the bathroom, that make you go number two, those are things that people with Crohn's are supposed to stay away from because we don't have a problem with going to the restroom. That's basically what our illness is. Our food runs right through us. So anything that makes you go to the bathroom, high fiber foods, vegetables, beans, stuff like that, you're supposed to stay away from. Now, for me, I learned that if I eat it, let's say today on Tuesday, I won't touch it again for 16, 17 days because I have to give my body time to digest it. So I really don't do leftovers like that. I really don't do a lot of things that, somebody with a normal immune system can do.
Hmm.
Things that they want us to have, more vitamins. Um, you kind of need the vitamin D, but you can't really drink milk because it kind of bothers you. But once
Right.
again, that's not everybody with Crohn's. You know what I mean? So you kind of have to play with it to see if it bothers you. And if it doesn't, then, go ahead. But for most people with Crohn's, anything that has a high fiber in it, you can't have.
Whew, let me tell you, I like milk.
Yeah,
But when I drink milk, it's about to flow. It's definitely gonna flow, man. Yeah, so diet is definitely important. I hope anybody out there that's struggling with this disease is really paying attention, yo. Take everything that she's saying. Don't take it for granted. Take it to the heart. And really understand what it is to have to deal with this, y'all. For us people that do not have to deal with this, yo, help support these folks. Help support these folks 100% because it sound hard already, and I'm bad with diet. I eat everything under the sun. You know what I mean? I do go through some months where I focus on only veggies and stuff like that, but to have to maintain a diet on a constant for years and years and years. She's 33. She's been dealing with it since she was 18. The first 2 years not even knowing what it is. Man, kudos to you.
thank
So,
you.
are there I know with certain other diseases, I can't name them off the top of my head, but with certain other things, there are certain times of the year that are harder than others. What are those times of the year for you?
For me, I notice I have flare ups when the weather changes. So when it goes from cold to hot or hot to cold, and the winter is just not good for me at all. I find myself being sick more in the winter, or not. Well, having more flare ups, I should say, having more flare ups in the winter than I do when it's summer.
Hmm.
Um, Nobody could ever tell me why. Nobody doesn't know why. It's just one of those things. But I do. The guy that I know that has Crohn's, he's fine in the winter. Don't bother
Really?
him. Yeah, he's fine in the winter. Don't bother him. Don't nothing. So I don't know if it's just me. I don't know. So it's weird, but I just handle it the way I do. I mean, living in Vegas is cold, but it's not too cold. So I think that's probably one of the reasons why it's really hard for me to want to leave or go back east or something like that. Because it get too cold out there, and I know I wouldn't survive because I barely make it in Vegas cold weather.
Right. Well, let me just say this. Now I know, if I ever decide to take you on a tour to spread awareness, we can't go nowhere cold. Boston, we ain't coming to y'all. New York, we ain't coming to you.
We could go in the summertime. We could go
Oh,
in the
summertime,
summertime.
right? We gonna be
That's
summertime
it.
babies out there.
Summertime.
That's what's up. That's definitely good to know. Again, y'all, pay attention. This shit is deep. You feel me? Um, you just gotta really pay attention. You gotta really focus and do what you gotta do so that you can live a happy and active life. Let me ask you. I can only imagine how much this really affects your life, even more than what we're gonna talk about today on the show. But does it play a major part with like your moods? Do you get like mood swings or
I do. I mean, women have mood swings, period.
Lord Jesus they do?
But it does because if I don't feel good, you know, I could be more snappy. I could be, more mean, already mean than I kind of am. But, you know, I could be more snappy because I don't feel good. But I know when I don't. So if I'm around people, I distance myself,
Mm,
or I'm more quiet, or I just don't come around. People that are my friends or my close knit family, like they understand that, so they know like if they don't talk to me for a day or two, they know okay, like she's had a flare up or she's not feeling good. We're gonna leave her alone. And then when I contact you, like I'm cool, like I'm good, and I don't have a problem with apologizing, for snapping on somebody when I'm with them if I
mm,
don't feel good. Or I let you know, like, look, I'm just not feeling good right now. Like, just let it go or leave it alone. You know what I mean? But
right.
you have to know the signs in yourself, and you gotta know the symptoms in yourself to be able to train people around you,
Right.
if it makes sense.
Yeah, I definitely get it. Now you did mention friends and family, but what about your love life? Has it affected your love life at all?
Um, it has a little bit younger. Um, at that time, I didn't really get it, but as I
Hmm.
got older, I understood that hospitals and medications and stuff like that is not meant for everybody. Um, but as I gotten older, I have had people that have been around, stuck around, been there, and that do understand.
Right.
So that's a good thing, and that's a good feeling, because you could tend to feel like you're alone a lot of the time. When I was
Hmm.
younger, I had a group of friends that were always there, and then as time progressed, they vanished. So you start to feel alone. You start to feel like the only person you had. Well, for me, all I had was like my parents, my brother. But as I got older, certain friends or certain people that I've been introduced to, and they understand or want to understand what I go through on a daily basis, have been around and stuck around. So that's a good feeling because it doesn't make me feel like I'm by myself doing this.
Right. Yeah, man, let me tell you, I could definitely relate to you. I mean, not as far as on a Crohn's disease, not even on a disease level. You know what I mean? But I could definitely relate to you of when you're going through something and people don't always understand and that feeling of being alone.
Mm-hmm.
We've chopped it up before, and I was telling you like I be held captive mentally in the past, and I try to explain it to people, and when I be having mood swings and stuff, and they just don't get it, and then they stop talking to me, and they cut me
Mm-hmm.
off,
Mm-hmm.
and it's heartbreaking first of all, you
It
know,
is. It's very
um,
heartbreaking because it's not necessarily what they did. It's you, and when you try to explain that to them, half the time they don't want to hear it. But I have had
right,
people that I've ran into in my 30s that I haven't seen in my 20s. And like I said, if I'm wrong, I don't have a problem with apologizing. And now we haven't been friends for 12, 13 years because it was all a misunderstanding and you didn't want to hear, understand what I was going through.
right. Whew. Woo
Yeah.
doggy. Yeah, I feel you. Trust me. I done been in a room staring at walls like I'm stressed out. I don't know what to do. And I
Hmm.
felt alone, and for me it was a pride thing. I never really wanted to tell people like, yo, I got problems. I don't know what's going on, because I didn't understand what was going on within myself.
Right.
You understand a lot more now that you're older, and you've grown into this beautiful woman. You understand a little better. So yeah, man. But you're not alone. Yo, if anything, you got JusB in the show for sure. And all of the supporters and the fans, the followers, the viewers, yo, we're all here to support you. That's exactly what this show is about, to help spread awareness to everybody, any and everybody. I'm proud of you for reaching out and being able to do this.
Thank
This next thing was actually for another young lady that was gonna be on the show, and let me explain the situation. It was just a conflict of time slots. So I'm actually gonna do Jessica's interview about this same thing. Hopefully next week. But when you met Jessica
you. Hmm.
and you was informed that she also had Crohn's disease, were you relieved? Like, was it a relief knowing that it was another young black woman, that was dealing with that?
Um, it was a relief because originally I was told that Crohn's was a old white man's disease,
Mm-hmm.
meaning that only older white men in, I believe it was like between 65 and 75, they got this disease and eventually died from this disease.
Ooh,
It
chilly.
wasn't right. It was when I was first diagnosed, when they found out what it was, like 2006, 2007, they it had only been about 5,000 black women at that time that had Crohn's disease, but they weren't in the US. It was only like two or three, and I think I made number four in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So it was when at that my children's father was with her, knew her boyfriend at the time, so they connected us, and she was just now getting diagnosed with it, going through all the symptoms that I had priorly went through 10, 12 years ago. So for me it was good that I was able to help her, you know what I mean, because I didn't have that, I mean, I had my mom and my parents, don't get me wrong, that I cried to, and those group of friends at that time, that were there for me and this, but they didn't understand what I was going through. They were just a shoulder there for me. So it made me feel good that, when she would tell me certain things, I understood exactly what she meant. I got exactly what she was going through. And I know for her, it felt good too to have somebody to relate to, because she went through the same thing that I was going through, also not having anybody there to understand what you go through. Not even the doctors understand what you go through.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you're by yourself doing this, trying to figure things out, and there's nobody there to help you figure it out. All you can do is just read about it, but it's so broad in it that you still feel like you're alone.
Right. Woo, I can feel it. I can feel your energy right here. It's sitting on my heart hard. Yo, before we carry on, I want to give a big shout out to Jessica G. She will be on the show
Yes.
next week, and we will definitely get her interviewed and hear her side of the story as well. Because, like she said, there's no two people that's the same.
Right.
Everybody deals with it in a different way. Everybody has different symptoms and all of that good stuff. So, Jessica, if you are watching, I'm proud of you too. And this whole entire interview about the Crohn's disease was actually stemmed from Jessica reaching out to
Mm-hmm.
me,
Mm-hmm.
um, and telling me that she wanted to spread the word, and I was just ecstatic, like, yo, that's dope. That's dope, because I know I wouldn't be on here. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Um, if I was dealing with this on a daily, I definitely would not be on here telling the world my business. First of all.
True.
So yeah, big shout out to her, man. We love you, Jessica, and we gonna
Yes.
talk to you soon. Let me show one of these comments right here. The homie Gary said, what is your diet exactly for Crohn's disease? In respect, very inspiring. Here is he's here to support and send love and healing. Big shout out to Gary Leonidas GQ. That's my boy from around the way. Um, if you wanted to elaborate on that as far as your diet, I know we kind of already touched on it.
My diet for me, um, it just depends. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I have days where I don't eat anything. I just drink fluids.
Hmm.
That's really my biggest thing in the summertime. Um, and my doctor always says just something with with people with Crohn's sometimes. And like I said, it's not many of us in Nevada. How hot it is. I only drink a lot more water and sports drinks and stuff like that in the summertime. But I mean, I pretty much eat anything. I just do it in moderation. I don't really eat meat too much anymore because my body just won't digest. I just don't want to go through the pain of my body digesting it. So I kind of stick to turkey meat for
Okay.
really for anything. Um, Rice always helps ease my stomach. Um, Corn is my favorite, but I can't even really touch it. Like that's one of the worst things for me, but that's my favorite.
Corn.
So yeah, I love
Yeah,
corn.
because it gets small when it get back in there. It get back big.
Right. So it's my favorite, but I can't touch it like that. So like I said, if I eat corn today, I'm not gonna touch corn for another 60 days
Right.
because it's
Now,
probably gonna take 58 days to come out. So
dang. I don't mean to laugh at you. I'm just like, that's crazy. Let me ask you this. When we tapped in on the backstage before we actually went live, I noticed that you had a frappe from McDonald's. Now, I know when I have whipped cream and caramel and yeah, pretty much milk, it makes me go to the bathroom. Does it help you, or is that just like your thing?
weirdest thing ever, frappes do not bother me. Don't know why, but they don't. Now if I go drink a glass of milk, eat some cereal, eat a grilled cheese sandwich, my stomach gonna be fucked up. But with a frappe, I don't know what it is. They just don't bother me.
Right.
And I get extra extra caramel, extra extra whipped cream, but it don't bother me, so I don't know why. So I'm just
I'll be extra extra on the toilet. I'm
no, I
telling you.
mean I be fine. I be perfectly fine. And I don't know what it is. People ask me that all the time, like, how could you drink these every day? And I could drink 2 or 3 a day. And people ask
Woo.
me like, how do you do that? And you have Crohn's, and I'm like, it don't bother me. I don't know. It just does not bother me.
That's an
But anything
addiction,
else,
girlfriend.
yeah, maybe. I don't know. But yogurt doesn't bother me either. Yogurt doesn't bother me either. I can eat yogurt every day, and it doesn't
Right.
bother me.
Wow, that's
I
crazy,
know
man. It seems like the whole idea of Crohn's is so spontaneous.
it
So
is.
it's like so sporadic all over the place. Like boop, boop. I'll be so confused, girl.
They have a
Jesus.
lot of commercials when they like if you really watch the Crohn's or the cousin to Crohn's is ulcerative colitis. If you
Mm,
watch those commercials, and you see people that like on a commercial, like people go out but they look for bathrooms or they cancel right at the last minute. That's true. Like we really do that because we'll be fine, or the day you ask us to do something and it's 3 days out, yeah, let's go. I'm all for it. And then that day comes and we having a flare up. And that's the part that people don't understand. And like a lot of us with Crohn's, because it's not big like cancer, or
Mm-hmm.
you can't see it like, a deformity on people. People think that nah, there's nothing wrong with you. Or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you see me and I was laughing and playing and running around with my kids, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like I'm in a dark room just by myself in tears. They like, well, what's wrong with you? Like you look fine and nothing look like it bothers you, but it's something it's internal. It's something that people on the outside like you can't see, and that's the
Right.
biggest problem that we have with having friends or family and things of
Mm.
that nature.
Now I just heard you mention kids. How many kids you got?
Two boys,
Two
10,
boys. What's
10 and 3.
10 and 3?
Yeah.
Now I know your little one. He ain't 3. He about to be 40.
Yes, he definitely is. He definitely is.
So what as far as like with having to deal with your kids when you're having a flare up and you're feeling down and alone and all that kind of stuff, like do you have a support system at home to help you with them?
Yes, I do have my parents. Um,
Okay.
I do have, my best friend. I have their father. I do have a strong support system around me for when I do have a flare up. Um, and I'm a prideful person, so sometimes I'm not even gonna call for help. But I lived on my own when my 10-year-old was 2, and
Mhm.
it was just me and him. So I had to teach him and train him at 2 to know, like, look, when I'm like this is what you got to do. When I'm like this is what you got to do. And he's in the process of teaching the 3-year-old the same techniques, And it's a little different now because I have my 10-year-old that helps. So, he'll go get whatever my 3-year-old needs. But when it was just me and my 10-year-old, I had to, teach him like, look, I'm gonna leave your breakfast right here. You watch, he would watch, let's say a Disney show, he would watch 3 episodes, and he would know after the third episode, I got to go to the refrigerator or go to the cabinet, and I put everything on the bottom shelf for him. And he would know, like, okay, let me go to the cabinet. It's time for me to grab the yellow stuff. He would grab the yellow stuff, come back in the room with me, eat it, watch 3 or 4 more shows, and then go grab the red stuff. Now he know by the time he's done eating the red stuff, mommy's gonna be awake. And I
Dang,
did
that's
that
dope.
every day for like 3, 4 years. Yeah.
That's dope, yo. Big shout out to your boys, man. That hey, they gonna grow up and be wonderful men because they got a wonderful teacher.
I hope so.
Let me tell you, that's crazy. So, okay, so you want to just be show. There's times when I gotta kind of dig deep.
Here you go.
You know what I mean? I gotta kind of dig deep, and I did a lot of research on Crohn's disease before I actually set up this interview, just so I can be knowledgeable a little bit. I wouldn't be all the way dumb as far as
Thank you.
knowing and or whatnot. Um, so I have to ask you, has the thought of suicide ever crossed your mind?
It did. It was before I had kids. Um, just feeling alone, feeling like nobody was there, nobody understood. Because, like I said, one day you could be fine, you could be going out, hanging out, having the best time of your life, and then the next day, like you just on the floor, like in this pain, and nobody could help you. Nobody could figure it out. There's nothing that nobody could do about it. So it have. Um, but once I got pregnant with my oldest son, which it I didn't realize I was pregnant until I was 6 months pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
But once I had him, I felt like I had a greater purpose. You know what I mean? Because I felt like there would be nobody here that would take care of him the way that I would.
Right.
So I would always do my best to not get sick. That's when I started to change and be like, okay, you can't eat this, you can't do this, so don't do it. Because if you go into the hospital, then your mom got to change her schedule, your dad got to change her schedule, got to change their schedule to do this, that, and the third. So it basically changed my whole mindset on what I needed to do to be healthier.
Got you, got you, got you. So that kind of answers my next question. I was going to ask you, how were you able to overcome it? Let me say this. I'm actually currently writing a book called 47 Deaths, and
Hmm.
it's about 47 times throughout my life since the age of 12 that I tried to commit suicide or thought
Hmm.
about it. You know,
Hmm.
I had to pause for that one for a minute because that's deep.
Right.
But to overcome it, it like I told you, I was prideful. So first of all, I didn't tell anybody. Um, I just kind of figured out ways to get past it. So
Mm.
for you to be dealing with something, physical and that's internalized, um, I have so much respect for you for being able to overcome it. I don't have kids to be like, I want to do this for my kids. You know what I mean?
I got one you can
Um,
borrow anytime.
nah, I'm good. I'm good. Nah, let's keep it. Let's keep. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it. Nah, I'm good. That's what it is. But I just wanted to say the type of strength that you have to have to be able to, first of all, deal with this crazy ass disease, and then have suicidal thoughts. Like, I know that feeling, and to be
Hmm.
able to overcome that as well. That's like double the. You know, you're a strong ass person. You're a strong
I
ass
try.
person, and I can hear the strength in your voice, and I just want to give you so much credit because Lord Jesus, it took me everything to be able to overcome so many suicidal thoughts. Congratulations to you,
Thank you.
for even being able to have that blessing from God as Himself to get you through it, girl. You, Jesus, woo. So let me ask you, who has been, besides your parents? You name your parents, you name a few people, but who has been your biggest support systems during this journey of survival?
To be honest, my biggest supporter is my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she's there morning, noon, and night. No matter how far I am, no matter if I'm in the hospital, if it makes her have 0 hours of sleep to make sure I'm comfortable, make sure I'm getting treated right in the hospital. You know, um, my brother has always been one of my biggest supporters too. He was, we're 5 years apart, so he was always like um, my first kid type thing. You know what I mean? So he kind of helped me pull through it also. But I got to give it up to my mom. I definitely do because from day one, she's always been there, always.
Right, I feel you. You mentioned to me during the backstage when we was chopping it up about a ex boyfriend
Hmm.
that was there day in, day out. Tell me about that. Like, how did you feel watching him be there for you? Like,
Um, but when we first got together, I did explain to him my illness, like what I go through and things like that. He still really didn't understand it until he seen me have a flare up one day after we left a friend of his barbecue. Like I was fine at the barbecue, everything was good, blah blah. And then we got home, and then I had a flare up. Then it clicked to him like, okay, this shit is real. You know what I mean? This is that and third. But and he is my children's father. But no matter what we go through, if I'm sick, he's there. Whether it's picking, our oldest up from school, whether it's getting them from my parents or keeping them for a couple days, no matter what it is, he's there for it, no matter what the situation is between me and him. And, I respect that because a lot of people don't have that
right,
without dealing with Crohn's. You know what I'm saying? So dealing with Crohn's, having that, it's a blessing. And it definitely is. You know what I mean? But it's always heartwarming to know that whether we're together or not, you're still
mm-hmm.
there for me in that time of need. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good thing though.
That's deep. What's
Yeah.
his name again?
PJ.
Yo, big shout out to PJ. Yo, it takes a different kind of human to be able to sit through that, knowing the possibilities and what's going on, and the kind of responsibility that you have to take on to successfully be there for someone like Day Green. Shout out to you, brother. That much respect to you, hands down. So you kind of touched on this next one as well, this next question as well, but name like what else motivates you to keep fighting for a better life?
Um, my family, my boys. My best friend lost her mom young, so I know what that did to her. I know what it did to her. I know what it does to her. My mom lost her mom. She was grown, but I still know what it did to her. Um,
Hmm.
my my other best friend Rosa that passed away um 10 years ago. I know what that did to her son. I know what it does to her son until this day. You know what I'm saying? And I can't say that I won't pass away, but I don't want that my boys to have to go through that. You know what I mean? And a lot of people lose parents at an early age. So my biggest thing is to try my best to be here. I don't want to lose my life over something that I did carelessly when, I couldn't have not ate that or did something better or took my medicine, but I didn't do those things. So now I'm not here for my boys. And it's left for my parents or their dad, everybody else to raise them. And I'm not here to do it. I just refuse to let that happen.
You almost made me cry.
I'm just being honest. Like, I just refuse to allow that to happen. So, like I said, I have my days where, I can't do things. I don't want to do things, but I'm going to always push through for them. For them too, I'm going to always push through no matter what it is.
That's respect, yo. That's
Yeah.
respect, yo. I really respect that because my mama do anything for me. Let me tell you, boy.
Hmm.
If she gotta, no matter what, she gonna do it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's my girl, man. Damn, that was real heartfelt. That really got me kind of emotional. The way that we like to end the show is, I, there's so many people in the world besides just you, besides just Jessica or your friend, your male friend,
K1, yeah.
yeah, K1, that goes through this. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of people. I joined a Crohn's group, like a Crohn's life support group. I hope they're gonna tune in and watch this afterwards, at least watch the replay. And just listening to all of the stories that they have to, that they're talking about and shit that they're going through, it's like, damn. A lot of them are not as knowledgeable as you are when it comes to the Crohn's disease. So I would like for you, if you don't mind, to give one piece of advice to other people that's going through it. Just one piece of advice to just kind of help push them along the way.
The one piece of advice that I could give, and I gave this piece of advice to Jessica when I first started talking to her, and my mom gave me this advice, and it was to read up more on your illness and or your disease than anybody else. Don't let doctors tell you this is what you have, this is what you need. Read up on it, know what you should take, what you shouldn't take, what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat. You have to be more knowledgeable upon yourself than them, and that's real.
And that's real. Yo, y'all heard what she said. If you're dealing with this, I gotta stop saying so much. I need to fix that. Anyways, that was random because I was trying to think of how I want to put it. But if you are dealing with Crohn's disease or what was the other one? Ultra what?
It's
Os
ulcerative colitis. Yeah, it's the
yeah,
cousin to Crohn's.
whatever that is, that one. If you are dealing with either one of these, or if you're dealing with any disease, be sure to really focus, sit your ass down and learn it. Be engaged, join groups, support groups. They're all over Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Do your research. Do your research so that you're able to live a happy and active life. And once again, Day Green, I just want to say thank you for even being brave enough to come on the show. We had
You're
a few
welcome.
conversations prior, and I know you were super nervous, but um, me and my team are so proud of you.
No
All
problem.
right, I just want you to always know that. And the piece of advice that I want to give to everybody that's listening and watching, and people that are watching the replay or whatnot, is and this is just separate from what I always say, yo. One of the things is if suicide is ever a part of your thought process and you have nobody to talk to, yo, reach out to me. I'll talk to you. You feel me? If it
For
takes
real.
hours, I'll
Yeah.
talk to you. If it takes days, I'll talk to you. Because I know how that shit feels.
Mm-hmm.
That in itself is a disease. It is uncomfortable, but it's uncontrollable. Just call me, yo, and I'll talk to you. And that's including you, Day.
I got you.
If you're ever going through anything else, I'm always here to help. I'm always be here for you. I got you. All right.
I appreciate that.
For sure, for sure. I got you. You know what I'm saying? I might have to go pick me up a frappe.
Okay, with the extra caramel.
Extra caramel, extra whipped cream, and I need to
Mm.
find a toilet ASAP because I'm gonna be on it. I'm just keeping it real, y'all. And besides any of that, let me tell y'all know the 3 pieces of advice that I like to drop. Number 1 is smile, laugh, indefinitely motivate. Trust me, it works. Number 2, inspire one to inspire all, y'all. Like she's doing, I inspire her to come on. You know what I mean? And now we're able to be on here and inspire and spread awareness to everybody else. And last but not least, y'all know how it goes. Oh, my bad. That's my jam, yo. Just be your best self, yo. I love y'all.